Thank you. Okay, so we opened this 2024 race seminar with an introduction to the 7 laws of the soul. Now we are going to close it vertically by casting a glance at the higher laws that the hierarchy itself uses to induce soul control in the human family as a whole, particularly in relation to its contribution to the entire evolutionary scheme, quote from Decay. So here they are, 7 again, of course, according to the hierarchical and cosmic law of the 7 rays of the life conquering space through 7 centers or rays. Okay, so the 7 factors or rules for inducing soul control are the tendency towards synthesis, first ray, the faculty of the hidden vision, second, the impulse to formulate a plan, 3, the urge to creative life, 4, the factor of analysis, 5, the quality innate in man to idealize, 6, and the interplay of the great dualities. Okay, so extracts from EP2. In considering the rules which can induce soul control, it is not my intention to recapitulate the many rules which the aspirant must follow as he perseveres in his endeavor to tread the path to the source, that path to what the Buddhists call nirvana. My present purpose is a far more difficult one. Imagine for us if it is difficult for me. For this treatise is written for the future more than for present students written last century. I seek to indicate the basic rules determining the hierarchical government and conditioning, therefore, world affairs. So we are going to cast a glance on how hierarchy governs our human souls to induce soul control. We are here concerned, therefore, with the subtle activities of energies which on the inner side, causal side, actuate the outer activities and bring about those events in the world of man which later form history. The problem before the hierarchy is twofold and can be expressed in 2 questions. How can the consciousness of humanity be expanded so that it can be developed from the germ of self-consciousness, such as it was at individualization, 21st millions of years ago, and be brought up to that of complete group consciousness and identification, group identification, as occurs when the final initiation is undergone? Second question, how can the ascending energy of the 4th kingdom in nature be brought into such close rapport with the descending energy of spirit that another great expression, a group expression of deity, may emerge through man into manifestation? Okay, so especially on the 2025 conclave, these 2 questions will update and be implemented by the masters. Okay, the rules which we are to consider are not the laws of the soul or the laws controlling the stages of human development upon the path, the laws we studied this seminar. They have a much wider scope and pertain to the broad sweep of the evolutionary cycle as it concerns the human family as a whole, as I said, particularly in relation to its contribution to the entire evolutionary scheme of the Earth. However, owing to the lack of trained understanding, we shall have to confine ourselves to the consideration of these rules solely as they govern human unfoldment. Okay. It will be enough. What we are seeking to reveal, if possible, is some of the factors which govern the effort which the hierarchy of control and the custodians of the plan utilize. We know that hierarchy is made in two main parts, the divine contemplatives and the executors of the plan. So the custodians of the plan. And as they proceed to work with the factors already present in man and the energies already in objective use on this planet. So it is well to ponder on the thought here presented, but not to be quick to assume understanding. Okay, so let's begin with the first chapter of this part of the teaching and the aim of these rules. The objectives can, for our purposes, be stated as 4 in number, but each of these is capable of re-expression in a number of ways. They simply indicate the 4 major goals which the workers with the plan have set themselves. This is very, very, very important. I remember many years ago, I was inspired by this 4 major goals, and I began this study about the great cosmic man, the one whose nothing can be said, because we will read, we will hear. The first aim and the primary aim is to establish through the medium of humanity an outpost of the consciousness of God in the solar system. This is a correspondence, macrocosmically understood, of the relationship existing between a master and his group of disciples. This, if pondered on, may serve as a clue to the significance of our planetary work. Okay, planetary work. But, second goal, to found upon Earth a powerhouse of such potency and a focal point of such energy that humanity as a whole can be a factor in the solar system, bringing about changes and events of a unique nature in the planetary life and lives, and therefore in the system itself, and inducing an interstellar activity. Wow. To dialogue with the stars, with the other planets and stars. 3, to develop a station of light through the medium of the 4th kingdom in nature, which will serve not only the planet and not only our particular solar system, but the 7 systems of which ours is one. And Blavatsky says that Alcyone in the Pleiades is the center around which the 7 solar system of which ours is one is revolving around. So imagine the 4th kingdom in nature will serve the 7 system of which ours is one. As a group, as one humanity, at a certain level, on mental level, probably 3rd initiation, when we will be ready to get the 3rd initiation as a one planetary server. Okay, 4, to set up a magnetic center in the universe in which the human kingdom and the kingdom of souls will, united or entwined, be the point of most intense power, and which will serve the developed lives within the radius of the radiance of the one about whom not may be said. Okay, here is a hypothesis of this. First one about not may be said, maybe is about the Orion arm, our galactic arm, the three main constellation, Great Bear, Little Bear, and Pleiades, and around these Pleiades influence 7 constellations and 7 solar systems, but it's just a hypothesis. Okay, so paramount goals and destiny for us. In these 4 statements, we have sought to express the wider possibility or occasion as the hierarchy sees it today. Those great sons of God who have passed beyond the point of development of those masters who work entirely with the human kingdom have plans of a still vaster and broader sweep, and their objectives involve humanity only as an item in the plan of the great life in whom we live and move and have our being. Ah, what a breath, wide breath, this teaching. One may ask, and rightly ask, wherein all this information can be of use to us in the midst of the troubled and bewildered world. For obvious reasons, a vision of the plan, nebulous as it must necessarily be, confers a sense of proportion and also of stability. It leads to a much needed readjustment of values, indicating as it does that there is purpose and objective behind all the difficult happenings of daily life. It broadens and widens and expands the consciousness as we study the great volume of the planetary life, embracing as it does the detail and the finished structure, the item man and the entire life of the planet with their relation to the greater whole. This is of far more importance than the minute detail of the human being's individual capacity to grasp his own immediate place within the larger picture. Again, a wide breath to our souls and personalities. It is not a profitless task for the disciples and aspirants to catch the dim outline of that structure, that purpose, and that destiny which will result from the consummation and fruition of the plan on earth. Given the fact of the finiteness of man and of his life, given the tremendous periphery of the cosmos and the minute nature of our planet, given the vastness of the universe and the realization that it is but one of the countless, literally countless, greater and smaller universes, yet there is present in man and upon our planet a factor and a quality which can enable all these facts to be seen and realized as parts in a whole, and which permits man, escaping as he can from his human self-consciousness, to expand his sense of awareness and identity, so that the form aspects of life offer no barrier to his all-embracing spirit. It is of use also to write these words and to deal with these ideas, for there are those now coming into incarnation who can and will understand when present readers are dead and gone, written 1935-39. I and you will pass on to other work, but there will be those on earth who can vision the plan with clarity, and whose vision will be far more inclusive and comprehending than ours. Vision is of the nature of divinity. Expansion is a vital power and prerogative of deity. Therefore, let us struggle to grasp what is possible at our particular stage of development and leave eternity to reveal its hidden secrets. The factors which determine this peculiar process of hierarchical work and which therefore constitute the major roles of the evolving life of God in the human family are 7 in number. These, if we may so express it, determine hierarchical activity, leaving wide scope for individual effort, but providing the vital active trends beyond which no worker with the plan will dare to go. So really we are diving into the causal trends of energy which cause our human evolution and destiny. Okay, let's begin. Second chapter, the 7 rules. The first, the tendency innate and ineradicable to blend and synthesize. This is a law or rule of life itself. First rate. This tendency results on the form side in destruction and wreckage, with its accompaniments of pain and sorrow. But on the life side, it results in release, liberation, and subsequent expansion. This tendency is the basic cause of all initiation, individual, racial, planetary, and systemic. The basic cause of all initiation, the tendency to blend and synthesize. It is the result of an act of the will and is caused by the impulsion of the sensed and innate purpose of God. However, and this is a point often forgotten, this tendency is motivated by the recognition of the planetary logos that his plan is conditioned in its turn and is an integral part of a still larger plan, that of the solar deity. And God, the solar logos, is likewise conditioned by still higher life purposes, and also the galactic logos, and so on. Second rule, the quality of the hidden vision, second ray. This quality on the form side produces physical sight, astral illusion, and concrete knowledge. On the life side, it produces illumination. This includes the widespread illumination reflected by our planet in the heavens, as well as that which makes an individual man a light bearer, and which will eventually enable humanity as a whole to constitute a station of light upon Earth. This quality is the basic cause of all sensory perception and is the instinctive urge to consciousness itself in all its many phases. With this quality, the hierarchy has to work, intensifying it and giving it magnetic power. It is the high result of desire, karma for Sanskrit, which is this both desire and in the heaven is love. Cosmic love is karma, that here on earth is desire. So it is the high result, this rule, second rule, of desire, which is itself intrinsically founded on the will to form a plan and a purpose by love. Third rule, the instinct to formulate a plan, third ray. This instinct governs all activity, which in process of evolution divides itself into instinctual activity, intelligent activity, intuitional or purposive activity, and illumined activity as far as mankind is concerned. This includes that department of the hierarchy which works with humanity. The higher phases of planned activity are many and diverse. By the way, and that department of the hierarchy which works with the humanity, we can call the executors of the plan. Okay, the higher phases of planned activity are many and diverse and are all synthesized under the third ray activity, at present focused in the seventh ray. And here we have our current march on, which is a lord of the third department of hierarchy, but a seventh ray master, Rakotsi. Viewed from the form side, this faculty, third ray faculty of planning, leads to separative and selfish activity. Viewed from the life side, it leads to a blended cooperation. So here it's really the third planetary center, humanity, is the fourth center, creative intelligence and activity. So that's us. But from the life side, we are going to a blended cooperation, which swings each unit of energy in every form, in all its subjective and unified aspects, into the task of unification. This is potently taking place in the world today. It is the tendency to at-one-ment which leads the human being, first of all, to the development of an integrated personality, and then to the submergence of that personality in the good of the greater whole. This constitutes the basic cause of evolution itself, individual, planetary, and systemic activity towards unification, another form of evolution. This instinct is the result of the development of manas, or mind, and the emergence of the intelligence. It is the peculiar quality or instinctual nature through the means of which humanity impresses the first ray of willed intent, fostered by desire of second ray, and transmuted into intelligent activity. Okay. Fourth rule, the urge to creative life through the divine faculty of imagination. Let's think about it as a rule to induce soul control. Fourth ray. This urge is, as can easily be seen, closely connected with the fourth ray of harmony, producing unity and beauty, one through conflict. This, on the form side, leads to warfare, struggle, and building of forms which must later be destroyed. But on the life side, it leads to quality, vibratory radiance, and the revelation upon earth of the word of meaning. It is therefore the basic cause of that subtle essence or revelation which is seeking expression through every form in each kingdom in nature, the revelation of meaning. This is beginning to happen today. It is the result of the ability, sometimes adequate and sometimes inadequate, of the inner consciousness to reveal its measure of control by the plan and its response to the larger intent. It is upon this response that the members of the hierarchy are today counting as they endeavor to bring the hidden meaning to the fore in the consciousness of man, for free the capacity to reflect the model, the pattern, the hierarchical model on Earth. So to reveal the measure of control by the plan and the responsiveness to it. Fifth rule, the factor of analysis. This factor may surprise those who suffer from the misuse of the power to discriminate, to analyze, and to criticize. It's, however, a basic divine quality, producing wise participation in the plan and skill in action. On the form side, it manifests as the tendency to separate, divide, and to place in contradictory positions. But on the light side, it leads to that understanding which tends to identification through the wider choice and comprehension. Wonderful. It is the basic cause and impulse which will lead to the eventual appearance of the kingdom in nature higher than the human, which is strictly that of the soul, and will produce the manifestation upon earth of the fifth kingdom in nature, that of the kingdom of gods, of souls. It is the result of the active or spiritual souls, the Buddhic level. It is the result of the active work of the sons of God, the sons of mind, and is the part which they are contributing to the total planetary contribution as part of the great systemic plan. The hierarchy itself on the Buddhic plane is the outer and inner manifestation of the sacrifice of the divine Manasaputras, and its members respond to their sensed vision of the plan for the whole. The hierarchy is essentially the germ or nucleus of the fifth kingdom in nature. So when the Buddhic plane, where the seven ashram of hierarchy will be united with the seven egoic groups of the constituted by the human souls, when they will be united, this will happen. The fifth kingdom will appear on earth through this fifth rule. Okay, sixth rule, the quality innate in man to idealize. This is founded upon the success of the plan itself. This plan sought originally to awaken in man the following responses: right desire, right vision, and right creative activity, based upon right interpretation of ideals. This triplicity of purpose merits thoughtful consideration. On the form side, this has worked out as material desire, leading eventually to cruelty and frequently to an extreme sadistic expression, Mars, when is misused. On the life side, it has led to sacrifice, one-pointed purpose, progress on the path, and devotion, the pure work of Neptune. It is the basic cause of all organization and of cooperation. The ideal before the hierarchy is the realized plan. This is brought to humanity in the form of ideas which become in time ideals to be desired and fought for. In order to materialize these ideals, the trend to organize comes into being. It is the result, curiously enough, of the work of a peculiar group of world workers who are recognized by humanity under the name of world saviors. They organize human in order to teach them to cooperate, to build a coordinated cooperation, which is another formula according to NRA, for hierarchy, coordinated cooperation. These world saviors are the founders of those forms through which the divine ideas become the ideas of the masses in all realms of human thought. Every great world leader is necessarily a suffering savior. And the interplay, the seventh rule is the interplay of the great dualities, seventh ray. Through the activity engendered by this interplay and through the results achieved, producing always a third factor, the whole manifested world is swept into line with the divine purpose. This doesn't become apparent to the man who is immersed in the detail of life, but could we see the planetary life as it can be seen by the masters themselves, we would note the pattern emerging in all its beauty and the structure of God's thought for the universe appearing today in clearer outline and greater synthesis and beauty of detail than ever before, in spite of any appearance. On the form side, this produces the sense of being imprisoned by the time factor. That's very interesting for the current times. The victim of speed and the implacable forces of all life activity as they play upon the imprisoned human being. Think of the coming of the internet, or this speed acceleration of time, and really we are like on this seventh ray evolutionary inducing rule. But on the life side, it results in rhythmic living and conscious adaptation of energy to the immediate purpose and goal. It is necessarily the basic cause of the appearance and the disappearance of forms, human and humanly constructed. It is the result of attunements wrought out on the physical plane. The higher attunements, either to effective on the plane of mind, have to be expressed eventually on the plane of physical life. Again, seventh ray. These rules, which can induce on earth that soul control, which is the immediate goal of the evolutionary process, are those basic trends and those innate tendencies in the divine expression which will ultimately bring about the manifestation of the oversoul upon our planet. In the downward and the upward flow of the divine life, as it expresses itself through the involutionary and evolutionary urges, humanity constitutes one of the fundamental original centers of force, which can remember the four main goals for the human creative hierarchy on Earth, which can and will form an outpost of the divine consciousness, an expression of the divine psyche, manifesting eventually those three outstanding psychological characteristics of divinity: light, energy, and magnetism. In the human being, the microcosmic reflection of the macrocosm, these qualities are expressed by the words illumination or wisdom, intelligent activity, and attractiveness or love. These are the effects of these 7 rules inducing soul control. The rules or living factors which will induce soul control in the individual and in the universe are the expression of the quality or nature of God. And so we have again the triad we introduced at the beginning of this seminar. So the laws of the universe, the laws of life, express the divine will and lead to the manifestation of divine purpose. This is wisdom. They ordain and nurture the plan, cosmic wisdom. 2, the rules for inducing soul control reflected in the 7 laws of soul or good life we have studied in these days, express the divine quality, not life but death. Second aspect, quality, consciousness, and lead to the revelation of God's nature, which is love, group consciousness, systemic relationships. 3, the laws of nature, or the so-called physical laws, express the stage of manifestation or the point reached in the divine expression. They govern or express that which the divine spirit, which is will functioning in love, has been able to effect in conjunction with matter for the production of form. This emergent revelation will produce the recognition of beauty. These 7 rules are therefore of supreme importance, for they embody the key ideas which will reveal deity in operation as the soul of all things, the soul of all things, animating factor. The soul in Latin is anima, animating. They will reveal the nature and method of activity of the cosmic Christ and will indicate the governing qualitative tendencies which determine the psychical life of all forms, from a universe to an atom, in the body of any so-called material revelation of life. These rules express themselves with equal potency on all the 7 rays, and they produce the manifestation of consciousness on earth in any and every form. This is a paramount assertion. They produce the manifestation of consciousness on earth in any and every form. The 7 rays are the 7 major expressions of the divine quality, the 7 builders, the 7 dragons of wisdom. They are not the 7 lions of the wheel, which are the 7 beings of the wheel aspect. Their 7 rays are the 7 dragons of the divine quality. As it limits, so are the 7 major expressions of the divine quality as it limits, and it does so limit, the purposes of deity. God himself hews to a pattern, a universal pattern, set for him in a still more distant vision or wider vision. This purpose or defined will is conditioned by his instinctual divine but instinctual quality or psyche, in just the same way as the life purpose of a human being is both limited and conditioned by the psychological equipment with which he enters into manifestation. Amazing. The 7 rays are limiting the divine expression of the will of a deity. But limiting, they allow the form, the building of the form, and so the experience, the evolution, and so the reunion between matter and spirit through consciousness, through the evolution of consciousness. Okay, the current divine quality of our second solar system, the 2nd ray of love wisdom, limits and conditions the purpose of our solar lovers as the 7-fold cause of evolution of the consciousness and of all forms. So limits in the terms that give quality to the process. Okay, so glory to the seven laws of our cosmic Christ, the tendency towards synthesis, which is the basic cause of all initiations. This faculty of the hidden vision, which is the basic cause of illumination and consciousness. The impulse to formulate a plan, which is the basic cause of evolution. The urge to creative life, the basic cause of the revelation of meaning through beauty. The factor and harmony, the factor of analysis, the basic cause of manifestation of the fifth kingdom. Let's think about the manas, the mind, the manasaputras that will allow the manifestation of the seven ashram of hierarchy of the Buddhic plane, where the seven planetary centers are attested. The quality innate in man to idealize, which is the basic cause for coordinated cooperation. This is the idea of brotherhood. The idea of brotherhood, the main idea of the Aquarian age, brotherhood, which will result into right relationships, decay says. And finally, the interplay of the great dualities, which is the basic cause of the appearance and disappearance of human and humanly constructed forms. Thank you. Glory to these rules and laws of our cosmic Christ.